Now at 9, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly visits Pittsburgh to tout her Axe Your Taxes plan. Plus, we'll hear from a Fort Scott Community College professor about an AI program that could be used to cheat on assignments, and how some local students are getting in the Super Bowl spirit to cheer on the Chiefs.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly's Axe the Tax plan lowered food sales tax to 4% for non-prepared food. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to another business about how they're adjusting.
Lowering the food sales tax is one of the main goals of Kansas Governor Laura Kelly's Axe the Food Tax plan. However, there was some confusion as stores adjusted to the state tax.
There was definitely a little confusion at first because we pretty much just found out from the news about the new laws regarding the tax. Whenever it came to actually implementing it, though, it really wasn't too bad.
Kelly made a stop in Pittsburgh to tout the tax. I asked the governor if there's any state resources to help ease the confusion some business owners have expressed about implementing it.
It doesn't make a difference to the retailer themselves. You know, this is a state tax that they collect and remit. They don't see any of it. They don't keep any of it in their coffers, so it doesn't have any impact on them.
So far, customers at the Pittsburgh Truck and Travel haven't noticed a 4% food sales tax. However, the manager expects heads to turn once the tax hit 0%.
I think the zero is going to be pretty well noticed. Yeah, I think that one's going to be noticed by most people.
However, businesses that are mom and pop country stores, they don't have the same luxury. In fact, I talked to one and they said they are going to upgrade all of their registers just so they can implement this reduced sales food tax. However, they are still having questions. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Businesses like Pittsburgh Truck and Travel are grateful for the pre-installed software in their registers. They say it made the transition to the reduced rate a lot easier. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with the first look at the weather.
Yeah, boy, did it turn out to be a mild, windy day for us today. We had winds gusting at times 40 to 50 miles per hour. Look at that high temp, 71. Our normal high is 48 degrees, so well above where we should be for this time of the year. We've also had the clouds, but now we're going to switch to watching some showers starting to develop. You can see a cold front that's pushing in this line really from east of Kansas City all the way back down just south of Independence. And we're going to get showers that continue to develop along that front. Now, I think most of you are going to be dry for the next couple hours, but we are going to see that rain increasing. Already you can see the temperatures in our northwestern counties dropping into the 50s while everybody else is in the 60s. Now, the winds are going to stay strong until that front gets through, and then it's going to stay breezy once again as we go through the next couple days. But we are definitely going to be much gloomier as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. And of course, I'm going to break that all down for you here in just a bit.
All right, see you then. The miniature golf course at Four Oaks has been closed since 2020. One local retiree is raising money to put a new one in for a place he can take his grandkids. KOAM's Carrie Worthen has more on this story.
It was either God or my grandkids that said, we want a new golf course, our new miniature golf course.
A local resident, Joe Leake, has volunteered to lead a fundraising drive to not only redo, but replace the now vacant course.
I'm a grandfather, what can I do to help? And so I said, well, if you need help to raise some money, then let me know. I would be willing to do it.
The mini golf course had as many as 6,000 rounds played annually before it closed for good. Parks and Rec Director Toby Book says maintenance during COVID decreased.
The course has been in a little bit of a disrepair. Attendance fell off during COVID, so we decided to look at exploring options for a new course instead of sinking an investment into an older course. And the group, the committee that we met with decided that going new would be better. So we had to start the grant writing process and the fundraising process.
A requirement of the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant application is to have the local match in place before awarding it. Of the $175,000 needed to match, Leaks only has $35,000 left to secure in pledges.
It's been a long process already, and hopefully we can get the answer we want and get moving with it. And we've had a lot of people in the community express their support and show their support for it, so that's a good thing.
There was something inside me that said that this would be good for our community. It would be another arrow in the quiver of community attractions for Pittsburgh, Kansas.
The goal is to secure 18 individual whole sponsorships on the $10,000 each to secure the necessary funding to match the LWCF grant to complete the project. Any additional funding will be used to enhance the features and attractions of the mini golf course. In Pittsburgh, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Until the grant is accepted, Leak is offering a letter of intent to commit to funding. And if you want details or a way to find where you can pledge, you can find it on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Some local students today gave back to those in need. First graders from St. Mary's, Colgan, and Pittsburgh visited the Ronald McDonald House in the 4 States in Joplin. While there, the students donated a variety of items and took a tour of the house. The class's teacher says she began bringing her students to the charity in 2009 after she needed one to stay at.
Made some decorations to put on the tables for centerpieces, some Valentine decorations, and we also made some decorations to hang on the doors to welcome the guests when they arrive, and made some Valentines to leave in the room.
The Ronald McDonald House provides temporary housing for families with seriously ill children in the hospital. If you somehow weren't aware, the Chiefs will be playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday. To celebrate, schools all over the 4 states are hosting Chiefs Spirit Weeks. In Carl Junction, Missouri, today was Mahomes Monday. Students were encouraged to wear their Mahomes jerseys, headbands, wigs, anything to look like the MVP quarterback. One student is related to a Chiefs player.
Yeah, kind of proud, but he used to play for the Ravens, but I never thought that he would play for the Chiefs. Just the Chiefs is such a big team. I just never thought that he'd make it that far.
The player he's referring to is former Missouri Southern Lion Brandon Williams. And Spirit Week at Carl Junction will also include Touchdown Tuesday, Winning Wednesday, Travis Throwback Thursday, and Red Friday. Defense officials are sharing more information about the Chinese spy balloon that was shot down over the Atlantic Ocean during the weekend. They say it's the first time that Chinese surveillance balloons have traversed the U.S., and the issue is gaining steam ahead of the president's State of the Union speech tomorrow. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
Brady Deal went out to go fishing on Sunday, but ended up catching a glimpse of something else instead. He says he saw U.S. Navy personnel in North Myrtle Beach with what looked like a white deflated balloon across 2 boats. A third boat looked like it had a crane and boxes on it. While a Pentagon spokesperson did not comment on this video, they confirmed they have collected pieces of the Chinese spy balloon above water, which left a debris field the size of 15 football fields.
We are still in recovery mode on the balloon remnants itself, both on the surface and undersea. And we expect we'll learn more through that recovery effort.
Defense officials say they've already been able to study the balloon as it traveled across the U.S. last week before it was shot down off the coast of South Carolina on Saturday. The U.S. estimates the balloon was up to 200 feet tall, potentially weighed more than 1,000 pounds, and could have carried explosives. But officials insist the balloon did not pose a physical military threat.
We've made it clear to China what we're going to do. They understand our position. We're not going to back off. We did the right thing.
Chinese surveillance balloons have crossed into U.S. airspace at least 3 times, including during the Trump administration, according to U.S. officials. Threats the intelligence community was not able to detect at the time. Lawmakers in Congress are calling this a watershed moment in the country's relationship with China.
We are in a Cold War with the Chinese Communist Party.
House Republicans are discussing a resolution to disapprove of President Biden's handling of the Chinese spy balloon, but it's unclear if they'll vote on one before the State of the Union address on Tuesday. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll learn about new guidelines to combat childhood obesity. They're the first updated guidelines on evaluating and treating childhood obesity in 15 years, with the American Academy of Pediatrics reminding doctors how important early action is when it comes to combating the crisis impacting millions of kids. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a look at the new protocols.
Early intervention could be key to combating childhood obesity. The American Academy of Pediatrics is urging doctors to follow its new obesity guidelines, which call for earlier use of behavioral therapy, surgery, and medication, depending on the child's needs.
This promotes an approach that considers the child's health status, the family system, the community context, and the resources for treatment.
Nearly 15 million children and teens in the U.S. are considered obese, meaning their body mass index is at or above the 95th percentile for kids of the same age and gender.
Obesity has been considered a personal choice and a shameful choice. And we know that it's not. It's has to do with genetics, and it has to do with lifestyle, and has to do with socioeconomic status.
Failure to treat obesity in kids could cause them to develop other serious health problems.
Comorbid illnesses like high blood pressure, kidney disease, liver disease.
The guidelines list intensive health behavior and lifestyle treatment as one of the most effective behavioral strategies to treat childhood obesity. But this can be hard to accomplish because it involves 26 hours or more of face-to-face counseling to address things like nutrition, physical activity, and more.
Be a role model for the kinds of life skills that you want your child to have, whether that be daily physical activity or eating vegetables every day.
Besides implementing healthier lifestyle choices, the guidelines advise doctors to offer weight loss medications for kids 12 years and older. Meanwhile, doctors are being asked to evaluate people 13 years and up who suffer severe obesity for weight loss surgery. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
An analysis of breast and lung cancer screenings finds during each COVID-19 spike, screening rates dropped, starting in 2020 and continuing through early 2022. Between spikes, screening rates went back to normal levels. Delayed screenings can delay cancer diagnosis and lead to more deaths. Researchers say more work needs to be done to get screening rates back to pre-pandemic levels. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, there's another round of high school athlete signings today. We'll learn who's going where in sports.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a warm and very windy day for us today. Lower 70s during the afternoon. We had winds gusting 40 to 50 at times, which is crazy. It really got up there, especially during the afternoon hours. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo's just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at these temps this afternoon. We should not be this warm in the beginning of February. Just about everybody upper 60s to near 70, and we're still fairly warm. It's 60 in Nevada, 58 in Pineville, 61 in Miami, Parsons at 60. Starting to cool down just a little bit. You know, northwestern counties, Yates Center is dropping back to about 55 degrees. And the reason is we have a cold front that is sliding in. It's not cold Arctic air, it's just cold Canadian air, 30s, 40s. And that's going to be more of the temperature zone that we're going to be sitting at as we go through the next couple days. Now, the winds are going to stay up through the overnight hours for us tonight. We still have these southerly winds at about 10 to 20. They're not as bad as what we had earlier, but it's going to stay breezy tonight into the daytime hours tomorrow. A lot of clouds next couple hours. Showers are already starting to pick up. On and off showers through the night into the morning hours. So make sure you take the rain gear when you're getting up in the morning, at least part of the viewing area. But here comes this cold front. And you can see this little line here of showers that have popped up. So right along the front, we're getting some scattered showers, and we could even get a scattered thunderstorm tonight. Nothing strong, nothing severe, but let's go ahead and zoom in, and we can see a few popping up just to the south of Erie. Here's Parsons over toward Coffeyville. A little band of moderate showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Stretching back south of Independence, and then just to the north of Bartlesville, and these are going to continue to flare up as we go through the overnight hours as that front drops in. So we'll stop at 1:30. Scattered showers, random thunderstorm, especially along the I-44 corridor. Showers through the night, but by morning, if you live north of I-44, you are just going to have clouds. If you live along and south of I-44, your day is going to start with scattered showers. And this is where they're going to kind of hang out most of the day, is along and south of I-44. Here's the noon hour. Also notice the temps. We're in the 40s. And then look how the rain expands as we get late afternoon into the evening hours. Now, if you live north of I-44, yeah, most of your day is dry, but rain will start to creep north as we get into Wednesday. So still tomorrow night, showers along and south of I-44, and then as we get into Wednesday, especially Wednesday afternoon, here comes the more widespread rain where everybody gets into the action. Rain chances shoot up tonight and then mainly stay in our southern counties, but stick around as we go through the daytime hours for us tomorrow. And we could even see some decent amounts of rain. We're going to get more into that in our second half hour. Plus, if you look at Friday here, it says AM snow. So we got a lot more to talk about, especially once we get into the second half hour. We'll talk more about rainfall amounts, timing, and we'll also look at that next storm system on Friday.
Yeah, you talked about that wind, early on in the segment.
Ooh, it was moving. Yeah.
Left the house, came back, trash can in the middle of the driveway.
Yeah.
I was like, well, should have listened to our weather team here.
Yeah, I think Sam showed the trash can forecast last night.
Yeah,
so
he
there
did.
You go.
All right, thank you, Doug. Coming up, we'll see how the sale of recreational marijuana is impacting some areas of Missouri. A law took effect last week that allows for the sale of recreational marijuana in Missouri, and one Fox reporter has more.
Nearly 3 months after Missourians voted to legalize it, they can now buy it. Sales are already underway for those who are 21 and older. The battle for recreational marijuana in Missouri is finally over as legalization took effect on Monday. The Missouri Department of Health told about 300 dispensaries, cultivation facilities, and manufacturing facilities across the state that they could expand their services to sell recreational pot.
We were approved on Friday. I think everyone was pleasantly surprised. We've had Monday, February 6th on the books forever, and the state gave us a little bit of a present with that.
Cannabis cafes may soon become a reality in some parts of unincorporated St. Louis County after the County Planning Commission introduced a bill recommending new regulations to the city ordinance for Amendment 3. The state levies a 6% tax on recreational sales on top of regular sales taxes. Compare that to Illinois, where taxes are up to 25%.
And they're here, and we have people doing a double take, thinking we forgot to ring them something up, or maybe something was missed, they made a mistake. But no, it's just Missouri is going to be a lot friendlier to their cannabis patients than any other market.
Revenue in Missouri will be devoted to carrying out marijuana crime expungements. More than 5,000 marijuana expungements have been granted in the state. If you're looking for a cannabis dispensary near you, we have a list of all the locations in several counties right now on our website, fox2now.com. Reporting in Creve Coeur, Ala Arabi.
Americans have spent over 30% of the money they saved during the pandemic. That's according to an estimate by Goldman Sachs. By the end of the year, the financial services company estimates that Americans will have burned through over 65% of their pandemic savings. Moody's Analytics says that between stimulus checks and reduced spending in total, American households saved over $2.7 trillion by the end of 2021. Up next, how you can brighten someone's day up by sending them a Valentine's Day card. This Valentine's Day, put some love in a letter and send it to someone in need. Children's hospitals, nursing homes, shelters, and even some frontline employers are all accepting Valentine's Day cards and treats. St. Jude Children's Hospital is expecting virtual cards. Valentines can pick from an array of designs and share to brighten the day of a young patient. The Research Hospital is also accepting monetary donations and is partnering with Amazon Smile for donations and giftable items. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. How Fort Scott Community College is combating an AI program that could be used to cheat on assignments. Plus, parents in Neosho, Missouri get a chance to learn about a new STEAM academy opening up. As more programs with critical intelligence are available for individuals to use, colleges are trying to make sure they are not used in the classroom. KOAM Jana Haldala talked with faculty and students about this and has more.
Artificial intelligence programs are becoming more common, but Fort Scott Community College is prepared to detect any plagiarism if noticed.
In the classroom, we want it to be the students' own thoughts, own abilities, own critical thinking on essays and that type of thing, which is primarily where we're seeing the use of AI generators when it comes to reports.
Programs such as ChatGPT could be used for writing assignments as it gives essay responses. The faculty at Fort Scott Community College has not seen cases of the use, but the staff has discussed it in meetings.
I found GPT-0, which is basically a plagiarism checker for AI-developed essays. It was developed by Princeton University students. So we also included a section in our syllabus that explains that using AI-generated text or essays is not ethical and it would go on a student's academic integrity violation if they do that.
Barr says plagiarism appears mostly because of unintentional paraphrasing. If a student is having difficulties with writing, some professors give credit for using the tutoring services on campus.
They just got this new system where, like, even if we at home, like after this close, like around 8 o'clock at night, like when we at home, it's like a tutoring system we can type on, ask us what we need, and they can help us do like an online service if we just really need it.
English professors are discussing ethical and unethical use of AI in class.
Students are usually pretty good. They understand the ethical dilemma there. They understand to write in their own words.
In Fort Scott, Janna Haudala, KOAM News.
Board says Fort Scott Community College wants to embrace technology, but they don't want to lose the critical thinking aspect of it either. Parents in Neosho, Missouri got a chance to learn about a new education option for their kids. The Neosho School District is launching a new STEAM Academy. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. The academy will be open to every elementary student in the district.
Project-based learning is just authentic learning, solving real-world problems that the boys and girls, they come up with a driving question. It can be locally, it can be international problems that they work on solving.
It shows us this desire for authentic learning and STEAM within our school district, and we need to serve that need.
Teachers of the new elementary school were there to showcase some of the projects that will be going on in the class. AMC, which operates the theater in Pittsburgh, is going to charge more for certain seats in its theaters. For now, there will be 3 options. First is standard price, which AMC says will be the most common seats. If you want a seat in the middle of the theater, you will have to pay a premium. And sitting in the front row will cost less than the regular ticket. The new pricing rolls out Friday in New York, Chicago, and Kansas City. It's set to hit all AMC theaters before the end of the year. The FBI has started a plot to attack the power grid near Baltimore. They said it was a credible threat. Now 2 suspects are behind bars. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
A power plant plot has been foiled in Maryland. The Justice Department said 2 suspects intended to destroy key electrical substations near Baltimore.
The accused were not just talking, but taking steps to fulfill their threats and further their extremist goals.
Federal charges for conspiracy to destroy an energy facility have been filed against 27-year-old Brandon Russell of Florida and 34-year-old Maryland resident Sarah Clendaniel. The affidavit says agents believe the suspects were racially or ethnically motivated and wanted to take out power during the winter in order to cause the most harm. Thankfully, agents stopped the plot before there was any damage.
Clendaniel and Russell conspired and took steps to shoot multiple electrical substations in the Baltimore area, aiming to, quote, completely destroy this whole city.
Russell and Clendaniel appeared in federal court Monday afternoon from their respective states. They met online while serving earlier prison sentences. This follows 2 separate unrelated attacks on electrical substations late last year. One in early December in Moore County, North Carolina, left homes and businesses without power for days. Another over Christmas weekend near Tacoma, Washington, knocked out power to 14,000.
The electric grid is in the crosshairs of those who wish to do us harm, whether it's through a cyber attack or getting up close and trying to destroy it physically.
Both suspects could face up to 20 years behind bars if found guilty. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
A little later, millions of people will be celebrating the Super Bowl this weekend. We'll break down those celebrations by the numbers.
Well, of course, it's been mild. It's been windy over the past couple days, but we've actually seen some pretty good weather. Now we got the changes working in. We got a cold front that is sliding into the region, and already along that front, we're starting to see a few showers popping up, even a few small embedded little thunderstorms as this front drops in. But you can almost follow this line from north of Tulsa, Bartlesville, Lebec County, just north of Pittsburgh, and then kind of continues north just to the east of Kansas City. So we are seeing these flare up. These are going to continue to flare up as we go through the next several hours, really just north of Bartlesville. Here's Coffeyville, so just south of Independence. So the front's already through Independence. We can track a little bit farther toward the east. Here's Oswego, Parsons, so just to the west of Oswego, we're seeing these showers popping up. Let's go up into Crawford County. Another little line of showers popping up just to the north of Girard. So as this front slides south, we'll continue to see those showers increasing throughout the overnight hours. So here's 1:30 in the morning. Showers, a few embedded thunderstorms along and south of the I-44 corridor by morning. So north of I-44, you mainly just start the day with the clouds across the region. On and off light showers through the day, southern counties. Most of us just kind of cloudy, raw, and then showers really increase again. So this is tomorrow evening. But again, tomorrow night, most of these are going to affect the I-44 corridor and south. As we go through tomorrow night, on and off periods of showers, even a random thunderstorm all the way into Wednesday morning. So we're going to stop at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. We start the day with some showers. Most of the morning we kind of get a break, and then here it comes again, late morning into the early afternoon. This is going to be a lot more widespread, so everybody in the region will pick up rain as we go through the daytime hours on Wednesday. So here's the back end. Here's 8:30 on Wednesday. Then finally, 48 hours from now, we get rid of this storm system. It just takes its time. So those rain chances, they sneak, here's 3 a.m., sneak way up, scattered showers through the morning, rain especially along and south of the I-44 corridor as we go through the daytime hours for us tomorrow. How much rain are we going to get? If you live in our northern counties, not a lot, and you guys are the ones who need it the most out in this sector. But still, I think a quarter to a half an inch over the next couple days. You can see once you get to Pittsburgh, Joplin, and then south, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain. Day planner for you, on and off showers, southern counties. Temperatures really don't go anywhere. We kind of sit into the 40s all day long. 47 on Wednesday. Thursday, just a lot of clouds. Now, we do have a system Thursday night into Friday morning. This could give us some light snow, a lot of question marks on it, so that's just something we want to keep our eyes on. But the active pattern sticks around. Another system late Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, which is Valentine's Day. Another system late Thursday and Friday. We're not done with winter yet. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But this next system, all rain.
Gotcha. Well, like you said, we certainly need it, but at least it's warm.
Yeah, I mean, we're cooling down, but anything above freezing is pretty good news.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, thank you, Doug. We're producing record amounts of waste from single-use plastics. A new report from the Minduro Foundation in Australia found the world generated 139 metric tons of single-use plastic waste in 2021. That's 6 million metric tons more than what was produced in 2019, the first year of the index. Coming up in sports, it's media night in Arizona for Super Bowl 57. Plus 7 Columbus student athletes signed to continue their careers in college. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
We got a couple big signing classes today in Southeast Kansas and Southwest Missouri. We'll start in Columbus. 7 student athletes signed today to continue their careers at the next level in 5 different sports. Now we're going to get to them all here. Addie Saporito signs today to wrestle at Ottawa University. Aubrey Saporito will play softball at the next level, signing to play at Crowder College. Now Faith Henry is continuing her volleyball career, going to Springfield to play for Evangel. One football player today, that's Brett Hamilton. He's staying in Southeast Kansas to play for Coffeyville Community College. Then the last 3 guys are baseball players. Landon Midget, like Hamilton, is headed to Coffeyville. Colt Ungehauer signs today to play at Fort Scott Community College. And Seth Stover, he's going to the MIAA, signing today to play for the Emporia State Hornets.
My brother-in-law went out and played football for Emporia, so he kind of introduced me, walked me along through the whole process, and he was there when I went on the visit, introduced me to like coaches, and since I have family up there, you know, that's just a bonus to going up there, and the coaches were great, facilities were great, and I just felt like the right place.
My first year, I really want to try to play, get on the field, and then eventually have to leave Coffeyville at some point because it's junior college, so I'm trying to go D2, D1, you know, whatever I can do, whatever opportunities I can get from coaches.
They really showed me that how much they wanted me, you know, they made that extra effort to come and recruit me and, you know, try really hard. And they told me, you know, it really is. It's, you know, you got to perform and we're trying to get you to the next level and we're just they're just giving me that platform.
I practiced with some of the girls and they were wonderful. So inviting, so sweet, and their team was just so together, and I loved that about them.
Now to Neosho, another big signing class this afternoon. 5 Neosho High School seniors signed today to move on and play in college. Maddie Ebbinghaus going to continue her track and field career in Massachusetts, signing to LaSalle University. Carly Ellick is headed north, signing to play basketball at Johnson County Community College. Then we got 3 football players. Aiden Howell is going to Westminster College, and Isaiah Green and Carter Bosley, they will stay teammates and stay local. They signed today to play for Atiba Bradley in the Missouri Southern Lions.
Missouri Southern, just from the first phone call I had with them, it seemed like home, and it seemed like they were building a family up there, and that's what really pushed me to commit there. They seemed like they were really interested in me. They seemed like they had a plan for me, and it seemed like the best fit for me.
The coaches they're just great. You know, I went over to a camp this summer there, and I got to know them. And I went to a couple game day visits, and just getting to talk to them and getting to know them, it just became obvious that they were the right choice for me.
They're a great program. They're undefeated currently, and the coach really stuck out to me. I mean, he really had a passion, for the game, and so I definitely thought that was the place to go.
Super Bowl 57, just 6 days away. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid will be facing his former team, Philadelphia Eagles, Sunday night in Arizona. He left the Eagles after the 2012 season, but there are still a few players over there who played for Reid in Philly.
Coach Reid, it's been cool, being able to go against somebody that drafted me, somebody that I feel indebted to because he took a chance on me, and to see him go out and win one with another team, it was always great. That's when I got to talk to him again after that. He was happy and proud of me because we had won a Super Bowl too, and it was just cool. And now it's crazy how things come full circle, year 13.
So I know everybody, in the NFL obviously knows it's a business, but it has to be cool. Not cool, but you're always going to appreciate that team who drafted you and that coach who believed in you. To see him on the other sideline is probably a little weird.
Yeah, absolutely. And then not only Brandon Graham, but also Fletcher Cox, who was drafted in 2012. Jason Kelsey drafted in 2011. So the fact that Andy Reid still has an imprint on that team a decade later is pretty cool.
It's pretty neat.
All right. We'll be back with more after this. Millions of Americans are expected to tune in on Sunday for the Super Bowl. But the question is, how many? Fox News correspondent Nate Foy has the numbers, including the astonishing amount of beer that will be consumed as the Eagles and Chiefs battle it out on the gridiron.
Roughly 193 million people are expected to watch Super Bowl 57 as the Eagles and Chiefs face off in Glendale, Arizona.
They're the two best teams out there, and I think it will be exciting and explosive.
State Farm Stadium holds roughly 73,000 fans, but millions more will watch on television. The National Retail Federation expects over 103 million people to throw or attend a Super Bowl watch party, with over 17 million more watching at a bar or restaurant.
I think it's the atmosphere, for one. Being around like-minded fans and just the energy and the excitement that a lot of the bars, have.
The NRF also predicts Americans will spend over $16 billion on game day festivities, breaking down to $85.36 per person. Most of that will be spent on food and drinks, specifically beer. Analysts project fans will drink 325 million gallons of beer during the game, and bars in Phoenix are stocking up for thirsty and hungry fans.
We order probably about 10 times of our normal volume.
In the tourist-heavy neighborhood of Old Town Scottsdale, distributors will have trucks loaded with beer and liquor on standby to help bars quickly replenish their supply during the weekend. But if you're planning to host a Super Bowl watch party, the party goddess, Marley Major, has some tips to keep your guests engaged.
The key is to have all kinds of different activities and to really treat it like an open house.
She says since Super Bowl Sunday is typically the longest party of the year, make sure you have plenty of cold drinks, tons of ice, and a spread of different snacks.
The one thing a host or hostess can do to have a touchdown of a Super Bowl party is to really theme it out and focus on having it be a great time with great decor that supports the food.
And if you want to get in the Arizona spirit during the game, the unofficial state cocktail is a tequila sunrise. All you need is, of course, tequila, as well as orange juice and grenadine. In New York, Nate Foy, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll get a recap of last night's Grammy Awards. The 65th Annual Grammy Awards brought a music-filled history-making night. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has an update on last night.
The red carpet has rolled out for music's biggest night. And on that note, we're here to bring you a look at the night's biggest moments.
Thank you so much.
Beyoncé made history, breaking the record for most Grammy wins ever, adding 4, bringing her total to 32.
I've been so inspired by every artist in this category with me.
Harry Styles took the Album of the Year trophy home to Harry's house.
I promise you, you will find people, you will attract people in your life who believe in you and support you.
Record of the Year went to Lizzo for About Damn Time. Bonnie Raitt won Song of the Year for Just Like That. New Artist of the Year was awarded to Samara Joy. Among other milestones, Viola Davis is now an EGOT winner thanks to the audiobook of her memoir, Finding Me. Trevor Noah hosted for a 3rd time.
This is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. Make some noise for hip-hop.
Legacies were celebrated. Dr. Dre received the Global Impact Award. LL Cool J introduced an epic superstar performance celebrating 50 years of hip-hop, produced and directed by Questlove.
Put your hands in the air!
Artists including Run DMC, Salt and Peppa, Busta Rhymes, Queen Latifah, Missy Elliott, and many more brought the audience to their feet. Others taking the stage in this music-filled show, to name just a few: Bad Bunny, Lizzo, Harry Styles, Sam Smith and Kim Petras. DJ Khaled, along with Jay-Z and more, wrapped the show with an 8-minute performance. Performances, surprises, a celebration of the past year of music, and brand new Grammy winners. That's a wrap on the 65th Grammy Awards. In Los Angeles, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with the video of a baby Padu at the California Zoo. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.